Hey pals, it's Emmy. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. I have not been the most active, and I am very sorry for that. I keep saying that I'm going to be more active, and then I just disappear. I do have a good excuse. It was the end of the semester for school, my first semester, and my first round of finals ever, so yeah, that was stressful, but I am done now. I am done my first semester of university, so I have a little bit of time off, and hopefully I will be able to get a couple videos filmed for you guys and posted. But today I am doing a top 10 favorite books of 2020. So this isn't just books that came out in 2020, it is books that I read in 2020. And I feel like people might be surprised at the ranking that I did because technically if you watch my all-time favorite books video, this list kind of disrupts that. It really just, this year, messed up my whole list. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy, and let's hop right into that. So I'm going to start from the bottom and go up because that's more fun to lead up to the reveal of my top favorite book of 2020. So the book in 10th place is Raybearer. If you followed me on Twitter when I read this, I was raving about it. I loved it. I had applied for the ARC for it and did not get it, but my library got the audiobook as soon as it came out, so I snatched that up real fast. Also immediately got my dad to read it, so we are sharing the goodness of Raybearer. But yeah, it was so interesting, and I liked how, like, it felt very culturally important. Like it was very clearly not a white book, which I appreciated because there are too many of those. And we need more of other cultures in YA fantasy, so. And the characters were great. I really liked all of them. There weren't any characters that I was like, don't really care for them, but yeah, so that's 10. In 9th place is The Merciful Crow. I adored this book. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be higher, but after I went through the 10, I was like, I can't put this higher than any of the others, but oh, I loved this duology, but specifically the first book. It was so good. I liked it so much that I used it to write a review for school. That was basically just me raving about how much I loved it and trying to get my classmates to read it as well. Something I did mention in the review was that I really liked that it had LGBTQ plus representation, but it didn't like focus on that. Like it wasn't like, oh my god, this guy is gay. You know, like it just, the character was gay. That's it. Like, I like that kind of representation because it doesn't make it out to be some huge deal if there's a gay person, because it's normal. There are many, 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 many gay people. So, I don't know. That's a really bad way of describing it. But yeah, I like when the representation isn't too like forced and feels like they really emphasize that this side character is gay when it doesn't really add that much to the story. Yeah, just, you know, normalize it. Characters are gay. In 8th is Sky in the Deep. Honestly, The Merciful Crow and this book were really like neck and neck for which one was in 8th and which one was in 9th. But I don't know, Sky in the Deep I read really fast. It's also by Adrienne Young, who I love with all my heart, who replied to my DM the other day, and honestly I could die happy right now because she acknowledged my existence. Anyways, that book was so good. If you like Vikings, you will love this book. I watched a bit of the TV show Vikings before I realized that not all the seasons were on Netflix, so I stopped watching. But that kind of made me really interested in them and want to read about them or watch things about them, so this was like really good timing. And yeah, the characters, especially the main character, that's all I can say. They're in there deeply. 7 is Girls of Paper and Fire. Of course, this was in my top favorite books of all time video, so it had to be in here. It's fantastic. Again, LGBTQ plus representation. It's sapphic. I loved it. Especially the first book. The second book, not as good. Hopefully as the series, I don't know if it's a series or a trilogy or what, but hopefully it picks back up to where I really liked it. But yeah, it was really good, the first one. Oh my god, I am out of breath. I'm sure you can tell. I haven't done this in a while. I'm anxious, but yes. I don't really know what else I can say about that other than it's gay and girls who love girls and are badass and fight the patriarchy, you know? In 6th is House in the Cerulean Sea. I've already talked about this book so many times, so I'm sure no one is surprised. I was kind of surprised by how low it was. I know 6th isn't really that low, but it feels low for this book. But that book, seriously, I cannot talk about it enough because it's just so good, and I know that everyone that has read it really loved it. Well, not everyone, but like everyone that I see on YouTube and on Twitter, they all love it. So if you haven't read it, you should go read it because it's really good. In 5th, I feel like this might surprise people, but The Starless Sea. I know my personality kind of revolved around this book for a while, but yeah, it's in 5th now. Still love it so much, and I do still wear my key necklace because it makes me think of this book, and I think about the writing and everything pretty constantly, so I honestly can't believe I read this book this year. Like, this year has been so long. But yes, The Starless Sea, fantastic. If you haven't read it, you should read it, and I will get to The Night Circus, I promise. In 4th is The Cemetery Boys. Oh my god, this book. I finished it and immediately was like, can I reread it? Like, immediately. I just finished it like 5 minutes ago, but can I restart? Like, I did not want it to end. The characters just, they grab your heart. Like, you are rooting for them the whole time, and honestly I felt like really connected to all the characters, literally all of them. Usually I have like 1 or 2 characters that I really strongly connect with, but in this, every single character I was like, that's my fave. Nope, that's my fave. Like, I could not pick a favorite character because they're just all so wonderful. And yeah, the author of this book is incredible, and the representation in this is incredible, and if you haven't read it, please go read it. Please, I am begging you. If there's any book on this list that I would want other people to read, it's this one. So yes, Cemetery Boys. In 3rd is 6 of Crows. Honestly, I was shocked when I was going through all the books that I read in 2020 and this came up. I'm like, I read this in 2020? Like, what? I totally forgot that I got it for Christmas last year, and it took me so long to finish it that I finished it like early or mid-January, so that's wild. It does not feel like that short of a time ago. Again, this year has been so long. I don't really think I need to say much about 6 of Crows. I talk about it quite often, and if you're on BookTube, specifically the side of BookTube that I would appear on, you know what 6 of Crows is. So, and the Shadow and Bone TV show just released the little teaser thing. April! Oh my god. I literally, words do not come out. I am so excited. I really hope they do it justice. I like all the casting. Besides Nina. We all know why we don't like the casting of Nina, I think. But yeah, I'm very excited. And if you haven't read these, Six of Crows and Shadow and Bone, go read them before April and you can watch the show. Or watch the show without reading them, but does anyone do that on BookTube? I don't know. Yes, go read them. In second place, Fable. Everyone knew this one was gonna be in the top 3 at least, because at this point, my whole personality is my love for Fable. I love it. Honestly, hello hair. Fable just, it came out of nowhere and was so good, and Adrienne Young very quickly became my favorite author, and I cannot wait for Namesake. And number 1 favorite book that I read in 2020, the Poppy War trilogy. I refuse to pick one from the trilogy, so it's all 3 of them. If you're on BookTube, you know what the Poppy War is, I think, because everyone is talking about it lately because The Burning God came out recently. These books, man, these books are so good and so sad. Like, I sobbed in all 3 of them because they're so, my heart literally was torn out of my chest. They're extremely triggering, so if you're gonna look into these books, I would look up the trigger warning list because, I mean, it is about war, so I think most people would know that there will be triggering topics in it, but this book does not hold back. It really shows the realities, especially since they use real events as inspiration for the events that take place in these books. But yes. Anyways, I adored them. Kitai is the love of my life. He deserved better. I hated Alton, in case you're wondering. I hate him so much. I also hate Neja. I hear it in my head, but it doesn't come out right. But you know who I'm talking about if you've read the books. Those 2 men. Hate. But yes, very good. They live up to their hype. They are not at all overhyped. They're incredible. Go read them if you can handle the topics that are in them. And really quickly, 3 honorable mentions that I couldn't not mention are The Prince and the Dressmaker, which made me sob hysterically. Curse of Roses, because I talked about that in my 5-star predictions video, and it was, in fact, a 5-star read. It was incredible. Highly recommend. And 3, the 5th season, because how could I not include the 5th season? But it just didn't quite make the top 10, but yes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. That is the end of the list, and I will see you next time. Bye.